Then a real estate expert and the author of the book Foreclosure Nation is in our studios this morning. She'll join us in just minutes to talk about the new housing rescue plan and how it could help you avoid foreclosure. On Thursday, the Obama administration announced it would expand its $75 billion plan to help homeowners avoid foreclosure.
This new plan is aimed at helping homeowners who were not eligible under the previous alternatives. And for some insight on how this new plan works, we asked Shari Olefson, a real estate attorney and author of Foreclosure Nation, to come in. Good morning, Shari.
Hi, how you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thank you for coming in and talking to us this morning. Can you break this down a little bit and tell us how this new plan is going to work?
Absolutely. Well, the initial modifying home plan came out about 8 weeks ago, and that provided two alternatives for homeowners. One was a modification, of course, and the other was a refinance. But the problem was that still there were some people who couldn't qualify. They didn't have enough income to qualify for the refinance alternative or equity in their home to qualify. And so this new plan sort of plugs those holes with two new options.
Who's most likely, Shari, to benefit from this new plan?
Well, again, it's people who are too far underwater in their homes, and here in Florida, you know, we fall in that category in much bigger numbers than in other parts of the country, because the original plan required a 5% loan to value, 5% deficiency in your loan to value equity, and of course, here in this state, we're 20 or 30% underneath water.
Are there any downsides to this program?
Absolutely. The new program has two alternatives now that they're adding to the original program. One is a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which of course allows homeowners to voluntarily give their property back to the bank. And then the other is a short sale, which allows homeowners who have an offer on their home, but it's not quite enough to pay off their mortgage. It allows them to be able to do that transaction. But the downside is that if homeowners aren't careful, they need to make sure that they're going to get a release from the deficiency judgment from their bank, because they may still be held liable for that extra money.
Is this a sign, Shari, that maybe the president's initial or original plan, I should say, didn't work out quite as nicely as he believed it would?
You know, some people are looking at it that way, but it really takes 3 to 4 months for an initiative like this to really start taking impact. And I'm personally impressed that they're really being this proactive and providing other alternatives this quickly for, again, those sort of holes where people seem to be slipping through the cracks. But again, 3 to 4 months is really the amount of time it's going to take to see if it works. And of course, we all know from calling our banks that these servicers just still aren't up to speed enough to be keeping up with the phone calls. The big problem is that we've got 1 in every 374 homes across the country that's in some stage of foreclosure, and here in Florida we just realized that there was about 75% increase in filings over last year. In some counties we're looking at as much as 1 in every 65 or 70 homes that are in foreclosure. So the question is whether this new initiative will still be big enough and quick enough to make a difference.
It's a complex problem. Shari, for more information on this, where can people go?
Absolutely. Best place to go is foreclosurenation.com, foreclosurenationthebook.com. More information on this, and also we can answer your specific emails.
Shari, thanks so much for coming in. Always great information.
Thanks.